Hi Aries, it's Romy here. Welcome to the channel. So this is your September intuitive reading. So my soul stories are a blend of connecting with the tarot and working with my guides, and hopefully we will give you an overview into the energies and astrological influences for this month. So if it resonates, please do drop me a like and a comment. I really appreciate your support of my channel, and let's dive right in and see what's coming up for you. Okay, Aries, we're into Virgo season. It's activating your 6th house of service. Very healing energy to work with, helping you to take care of yourself and really start to focus on the new routines and structures and rituals that you need to enact to help reprioritize and readdress the energy balance in your world. So we open up the cards with death, and it invites in this deeper sense of transformational energy that you're really ready for. Now, between now and the end of the year, it's this final push of you working with all of these outer planets in Capricorn and all of the transits that have forced you to dig deeper and kind of keep your nose to the grindstone and work harder. And probably felt quite exhausting at times, you know, the energy of death as it wants to force change within us and around us can often be incredibly uncomfortable, incredibly heavy, and yet the rewards and the gift of what lays beyond is so sweet that if you could tap into that, and I know that September is going to start to deliver a little bit of this for you, Aries, if you can start to tap into that sweetness, it would light your fire with such an intensity that you wouldn't stop and you would take even more of whatever is coming your way, because you understood at a deeper level that the embodiment, the soul embodiment of everything that you've learned is about to transform your life in really powerful ways. So the card of death also links into Scorpio, so it may well be that you have a Scorpio energy that is significant in and around this month of September. Now, as we move through that full moon in Pisces, it's very emotionally charged, and it's also bringing a sextile to Uranus. So there's something a little bit unexpected that comes in, and maybe there's going to be some change, some uprooting that might be delivered as a result of that. Perhaps for some of you in and around the areas of work, or certainly we also might be looking at an earth sign here, a Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn. What I do need to say is that September is delivering a plethora of really sweet trines. What this means for you is that you're set to see some reward and recognition, and it's, I think for some, maybe a long time coming. So you should be seeing the deliverance of, as Jupiter and Saturn wake up from their retrograde, anything that has felt held back or resisted or stuck since they moved into that backspin energy, you know, going right back to May of this year. And so these giant planets kind of starting to expand and open the floodgates really for things to start to flow could bring some profound changes through. Some, I think, will be because you're giving yourself the green light, the permission to say yes or to say no, and to embrace what is coming by way of opportunity. But also that it might be something that's happening and shifting external and out with your control. If that is the case, I still see you poised and kind of almost embracing, because honestly I think that your energy has been really taking such a powerful, relentless sort of pushing in every area, particularly through this year 2020, that it's just going to feel like, okay, it's more change. I'm already so out of my comfort zone, or things have been disrupted so much that more of the same I can cope with. But what you need to be ready for is that more of the same should start to feel much more on the positive energy, if that hasn't been your experience thus far. Okay, September we can kind of invite in as a bit of a still point before we move into the second wave of eclipse energies and some of the more heightened, intense astrological transits at the end of the year. So take this as the time that you need to just catch your breath and to focus, and use that time to really tap into that deep inner guru, that wise part of yourself, or indeed look toward that trusted advisor or the person in your life that really represents that quiet, calm, soulful energy that has something to teach you. You have really something to learn and gain from them. You know, the King of Cups steps forward with a deeply emotional energy that's going to help you to figure out how to flow and how to tune in and tap into the way that this retrograde is going to impact you. Because here's the thing, right? When Mars moves retrograde in your sign on the 9th of the month, right through to the 14th of November, and it's staying in your sign right the way through till January, Aries. And just for your information, last time it was in your sign was 1988. So you might be dealing with themes back in that time frame of your life. But the King of Cups is inviting you to figure out a way to work with that slowing down, you know, because sometimes that can feel a little bit at odds to that cardinal energy that you have that wants to keep pushing and striving. And because we've been working with all of these planets in Capricorn and activating your 10th house of purpose, of you know, what the mark you want to leave on the world and how you want to get things done, and being ambitious and trying to kind of make your way in terms of your career or business. And so that sort of relentless focus that, you know, the planets have had for you is now being tempered with this King of Cups stepping forward and saying, how can I go with the flow here? Where do I need to just take my foot off the gas and actually allow some of the energy to catch up with me? Or to, you know, stop meddling, to stop pushing, to stop, you know, trying to manipulate or coerce something into being before it's ready. And this might be, you know, almost activating a bit of a self-sabotage tendency that could have reared up for you in different instances, whether it's coming through your relationship or, you know, just the way that you approach or do things. So the Mars retrograde is really inviting you not to force, not to overcommit to anything. And it's also, like we said, really going to demonstrate to you perhaps where you've taken on identities that have worked against you in the past, and now you're ready to release that. So who are you really? And are you really demonstrating that energy to the people in your life? Are you really showing up as that person, the best version of yourself? Are you giving yourself the opportunity to integrate what you've learned and then step into that new being, that new energy? I think that's what this transit is going to really help you to get to grips with. It's also saying you can do some of the things, but don't do all of the things, okay? We know you're perfectly capable, and you may well start to see opportunities firing up and revealing themselves all over the place, and that could feel quite exciting and also quite enticing. But I think there's also a temperance that wants to come in, and a bit of a grounding energy that's saying to you, just pay attention to really where your heart is calling you and pulling you. What is the desire that's speaking to you from a deeper soulful level here? That's where we want to then apply this energy and reap the rewards and start to draw towards us the things that are right for us. Because death is saying, you need to have learned from what you've been through. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't easy for a reason, because it was meant to change you. And so trying to default into an old comfort place, or to, you know, kind of go back to the person that you used to be and apply that to the way that things now are around you, isn't going to work. And it's going to feel super uncomfortable. So how do we embody, how do we take on what we have now gained? And that, believe it or not, is actually going to really restore a sense of optimism within you, even if it doesn't feel like that, even if it feels like you're still in the midst of a storm, or you're trying to step out of one-dimensional energy and into another and kind of figure it out. You have this rainbow right over your head, Aries. So the divine protection, but also the blessings that are coming your way are irrefutable, okay? So there's a choice to make here, there's a decision to make, and I think that everything that you've learned as a result of that change that has been uncomfortably part of your experience and your journey is showing you what is now right for you, okay? It's been a rite of passage, it's a pilgrimage that you've been, you know, on And this is the moment, the still point, like we said, where you get to just really figure out the direction and what comes next. Okay, so a choice coming through for you. Now, on a relationship level, maybe this will be showing up for some of you in the sense of making a decision about where you want to take the next step, or who you want to be surrounded with. And it might not play out for all of you on a romantic level. This just could be, you know, is this the right environment? Is this the right place of work? Are these the right people? Are these my soul family? Are these my, you know, my kind of ride or die people? Or do I need to start making adjustments and changes knowing what I now know? You know, and I think that you are really clear about that in your own mind. And if you feel that you're not, rest assured that September, particularly with the equinox coming in on the 22nd of the month, it's going to rebalance something. It's going to bring in a shift that's going to help you to figure that out with a much greater degree of clarity. Okay, now on the 17th of the month, we've got a new moon in Virgo, and during that time the sun is trining with Saturn, so it's bringing in high levels of achievement and some real positivity in terms of your ambitions and to be able to get things done. Okay, of course, new moons are about new beginnings and the enactment of something, and Ace of Cups is reminding you that if you take something on with heart, if it's really coming from a place because it lights you up and you're passionate about it, then the navigation through any challenges that you come up against is going to feel like a breeze. It's going to feel so much easier because you know what you're fighting for, you know what you're working towards, you know what matters to you. And I think that almost manifesto is going to be really important and come to life for you a little bit in September, because it is a month of planning. You know, and the King of Cups again at that almost spiritual guru, you know, that energy that's available to you as you connect to your higher self, or by way of people that will be placed in your path to just help give you that guidance and keep you on the right track. But your eyes wide open here, you know. Now the fishes are all kind of like going in different directions, all right? So we need to be a little bit careful that we don't lose that focus. That's what I want to say, okay? I think that the Queen of Pentacles here is keeping you rooted and earthy, but if you're not careful, you could just feel like a little bit battered by that storm and lose sight of what you're doing and why, or how far you've come, or the person that you want to allow yourself to evolve into, okay? So there's going to be some moments through September that will try to guide you back to that, and remember to keep you focused on how you fill your own cup, you know. And like we said, Virgo season is 6th house, so it's about that healing medicine, you know. That's what Virgo really helps us to understand. What is our medicine? What are the things that keep us on track? What makes us feel good? How do we take care of our physical body, or our mental health, our emotions, our spiritual connection? You have to deploy the tools and the support mechanisms for yourself, because you know what, Aries, no one else is going to do it for you. Here's the thing, right? It's a rub, I know, and of course some of you might have some wonderful support in place, but ultimately this has to be something that you prioritize to the degree that you are asserting that and putting that energy out as an intention, and then people will come in on a vibration that will absolutely help you to deliver on some of these things that you know are right for you. But if you're not putting yourself first in that instance, if you're not recognizing, you know what, the way I've done things in the past, or how I chose to show up in that way, was really unhealthy for me and really impacted my ability to have a healthy relationship with myself, with other people, or to do my job effectively, or to really follow my dreams, or to feel that sense of peace and serenity and harmony in my world. And you've come too far, you've learned too much, and like we said, this month is personal. You know, this Mars Aries transit is really showing you how to come through this final push of what has stretched you far outside your comfort zone. But the Page of Wands coming in with that beautiful fire energy that links into your sign, and looking directly toward everything that you love, everything that you stand for, and showing you the way. He's kind of calling you forward. So I think this is you standing here, still in the midst of some sort of disruption or unsettled energy around you, but knowing that there's a solution and a way through. And rest assured, again, September is the deliverance of those solutions. You know, we have all of these earth trines that are bringing in the real tangible things. You know, this isn't just you sitting visualizing. Of course, that is an intrinsic part of it. Your King of Cups is going to keep drawing you back to that, but you have both the spiritual and unseen energy, but also the real earthly physical rewards. I can see it, smell it, taste it, touch it. It's in front of me. I trust it. I believe in it. So that is starting to show up, and your Page of Wands is calling you forward, inviting you to feel more optimistic, giving you the spark that you need to restore your optimism and help you to keep going, okay? There's also news and messages traveling towards you, and I think from a relationship perspective, the opportunity for new connections that are going to feel exciting and a little bit adventurous in terms of the way that they might show up for you. You have to be careful that you don't hold yourself in this place of like protection, because perhaps what you've been through has been so difficult or challenging that you're just not wanting to open up again. Now, Eight of Swords, and you know, I've said this in other readings, it's shown up an awful lot through this month of September, but in this particular deck, instead of harnessing the kind of, or embodying rather, the energy of that anxiety and stress and kind of restriction and limitation, I'm tuning into a deeply peaceful, serene moment where you're protecting yourself. You are deploying this kind of spiritual armor and just saying, I need a little bit of time out to figure this out. A lot has just landed for me. A lot has just come into my conscious awareness that I know I've been working on at a much deeper level for a long time. And I just need to take a breath to decide and come to terms with what this means for me. And don't be afraid to express that and to give that space for yourself. Give yourself permission for it, okay? Because something will come from that that's really profound and is incredibly important about how you're going to choose to take what you've learned this month and move forward with it, all right? And I think what we're really talking about is in and around that Mars retrograde timing, okay? Careful that that protective energy, that spiritual armor, doesn't keep people out who are really well-meaning and wanting to step in and be there and support you and lift you higher or bring opportunities to you, okay? You might be so in that kind of introspective, reflective energy and sort of deep in that time of kind of processing. Not that you're going to miss anything, because I just feel that you're still laser sharp in your focus, okay? Your eyes are awake and open. It's just that you might choose to say, it's not quite the right time, or yeah, I'm interested, but I'll get back to you, and then just kind of not want to follow through. Not because you don't want to, it's just that there's something about you feeling like maybe I just need to be a little bit more protective of my energy or my space right now. And, you know, of course, you're going to know yourself in terms of the individual situation that you find yourself in. And you really need to go between the lines of, you know, what you're reading into the situation to know if it's right for you or not. But I have a feeling that perhaps you're just reactivating a little bit of an old setback or energy, or feeling perhaps that someone's agenda isn't quite as transparent and positive as you would like it to be. And perhaps in some instances you may be right, Aries, but I'm also going to invite you perhaps to look beyond that and to consider that maybe there is something of value here for you, okay? Because when I'm looking at his wand and this bright star here, I just feel it's something worth following up or following through with, okay? Now, Mercury moves into the sign of Libra on the 5th of the month, which does activate your 7th house of relationships. And of course, from the 22nd, when we move into Libra, we are going to be moving into that energy. So this might be starting to show up for some of you in and around those really close relationships, romantic partners, people who are very significant and important in your life, okay? And we also have Venus moving into the sign of Leo on the 6th, so connecting into business, to relationships and romance in your 5th space, really activating your heart chakra, okay, helping you to say with meaning and with the truest sense of everything that is really going on in your mind, what it is that you feel. And here we've got the Queen of Wands, so really love this energy showing up for you, Aries, because I just see you stepping into your natural essence with it, and it's sparking something. It's almost like you're seeing a way over or a way through something, okay? And perhaps up to this point you just haven't been able to access that solution. I think that full moon in Pisces is going to be really significant to the revelation of that. It's just helping you to transcend some kind of block that's just stopped you from being able to see that actually, you know, the change that can come through or that already has been deployed within this situation can deliver something so much better. And perhaps you've just been looking in the wrong direction up to this point. So she steps forward with that reminder, and again that kind of pulling you forward into that beautiful fire energy to keep you focused and keep the flame lit, even if that Mars retrograde invites you to kind of slow down a little bit in some instances. Now, we have on the 29th, when Saturn moves direct, Mars also squaring Saturn. Now, this is the second of 3 of these placements. The first one took place on the 24th of August. So cast your mind back to what was going on and around that time for you, Aries, because you're going to be revisiting it on the 29th of September and then again in January. And it's important because, as we said, this placement of Mars is impacting you very, very strongly in your first house. And so the challenge that that brought, because Mars squaring Saturn, you know, it's confrontational and it's provocative. So where it showed up and what it had you focused on, there's more work to do there, okay? And in retrograde, it's probably going to feel like the most intense of the 3. And so there's this element of when Saturn moves direct, we're about to get that kind of powerful like drive to want to take everything that we've learned and really apply it. And then we have a little bit of that kind of challenge energy coming in and just going, really? Are you ready for it? Can you do it? And if you're, you know, are you going to put your money where your mouth is? Are you going to kind of really stand up for yourself here? Or are you going to choose, you know, the peaceful warrior approach, which is perhaps what's needed here, taking the high ground? So yeah, it's just going to be an interesting time, I think, as we come toward that end of the month. And remember, you're also into Libra season. You've got the shift of that equinox energy, which sometimes for me can almost feel like an eclipse kind of a vibe, you know, when we have equinox. They're very, very powerful, and sometimes they can illuminate that kind of shadow aspect of things. So you're certainly going to be dealing with something which is meant to receive that illumination and to restore a sense of equilibrium, but it might mean that there's something that we have to respond to become aware of, or to release really in that time. So let's go ahead and see how these oracle cards are just reflecting in your main reading here. With the King of Cups and Death coming up, there is a bit of an emphasis in and around that Scorpio energy. And again, perhaps that's also going to be relevant as we move into the time of Scorpio later in October and November. I certainly think that some of the themes that are emerging through September, because it's quite a powerful month in terms of its revelation of kind of what things are showing us about what we've been through, you know, where we've had this really tough journey. Perhaps we're starting to get an understanding of where the blessing or the gift is, but that's set to unfold more fully over the next few weeks as we make our way towards the end of the year. And so that Scorpio energy, like I said, could be a person, but also in the timing that might be really important. So you have Sacred Reverence as your card here, and the key, really important. You are literally finding a way to unlock something within yourself, within your heart space, that's going to allow you to move forward and bring in a sense of unity. You know, we have the kind of depiction of the earth really on the hands and the heart here, and this idea of like how you can feel part of the community, bring that healing energy, bring that wisdom, bring that peaceful warrior to the forefront of everything that you do, everything that you are, how you can be of service. Remember, we're in Virgo season, 6th house, so this is about the way that you want to bring that healing to the world, you know, and it really is about leading by example with that. But I think September's showing you such a beautiful moment of everything that you have and everything that you are and how much it matters. And perhaps for some of you, you haven't really fully recognized that quality within yourself or known quite what to do with it or where to direct it. And I think September's calling, we said it's calling you forward there. You know, you're being protected, like what's for you, your sacred purpose is really starting to show up now. All of this energy work that you've been doing in your 10th house is not in vain. It's not in vain. Okay, so these are crystal oracle cards and you have the emerald. So first of all, the green of the emerald linking into your heart chakra and very, very healing. So again, just bringing this current of energy, I think that's going to be activated by that full moon in Pisces and really helping to carry you forward through this month so that you can start to embody so much of what you've been learning. But also the emerald talks about abundance. It talks about this sense of royalty and really kind of claiming what's rightfully yours. And what I mean by that is just that you are meant to receive a constant flow of abundance. You are meant to do things that light you up. You are meant to have rich, healthy, beautifully loving connections and relationships in your life. You are meant to find ways to enrich every single experience that you have and just squeeze every ounce of like goodness and beauty and divinity from them. And so that emerald energy is something that you can harness and work with to help remind you of your entitlement to live that beautiful life, and one that is deeply healing and nurturing and supportive. And you know, the focus in and around reward and gain this month is really powerful. And so if you have worked diligently and invested in different areas or within yourself, you know, take the time to kind of really celebrate that. Even if you haven't seen the tangible rewards of it yet, they're coming. But honor the progress, honor the journey, honor all of the blood, sweat and tears that you've put into it, you know. There's something about the nobility of the emerald linking into that Queen of Pentacles with the emerald of the peacock feathers and her cloak as well. And so I think that there's also recognition coming perhaps from a higher place, a higher standing, or being in and around influential people, but also to hold your own, you know. This is about you being able to hold your own in lots of different environments and really understanding your value and knowing that what you have to say and what you have to share matters. So your yogic card is Vata. And I love that we have the kind of mirror image here of the two figures who look light and they look in a state of joy and appreciation. We almost have this waterfall of energy and it's cascading and almost bringing like flecks of gold. So again, it's just like this beautiful flow of abundance coming towards you. You're sat perched upon this rock and it's almost like you're inviting it in and enjoying it with someone, or with a kind of, it's almost like it's being... there's like a devotion, you know, so it's either a devotion to someone or to a part of you, and this is just like the connection. There's just like a beautiful flow of energy that I pick up with this, really beautiful flow. But she looks easy here, you know, there's just this state of surrender and kind of abandon, and she almost looks a little bit wild, sort of perched on the edge of the rock there. So I just think there's something about, you know, owning that beautiful moment of like connectedness and wildness within you, but also just letting things be. Let the stream take you where it is. Allow the magic to come towards you. This isn't a month to force anything. It's a month of letting things flow towards you, the right people, the right experience, the right opportunities, the right knowledge, the right insights, the right moments of aha, this is it. catching your breath and just letting that come to you is where you're going to really restore your optimism and ignite the flame. And I think you're going to come out of September in some ways feeling like, you know, have I really moved forward? And then as you reflect back later in the year, thinking, wow, September was like really this moment of like incredible understanding where everything started to fit together in a new way that really made sense to me. All right, that's where your key is going to come in to unlock something. Aries, I hope this has helped give you a little bit of insight into this month of September ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do make sure you revisit the reading through the month, because some of these insights and messages will start to unfold in their own divine timing for each of you in different ways on your own unique path. And it is a general reading, so if you want to join me for the extended, I'm going to go ahead now and pull a couple of cards just around a specific question that I might not have answered for you or might not have come up. So just put a moment of your attention towards that question for me just now, and we'll go ahead and pull a couple of cards on it. If you want to join me, the link for the extended reading is in the description box underneath, or the comments section, and I really appreciate you doing that. It helps to support my work on the channel. So let's just clarify this card of death. It's bringing in the Knight of Swords. Could be a air sign, a Gemini, Aquarius or Libra that you're dealing with, or even that feeling of just want to flee, you know, wanting to bolt, wanting to get out of a difficult, uncomfortable situation. But here we have Ace of Cups as well, so it could be someone returning into your life from the past, maybe a Scorpio energy or an air energy. I also have King of Wands here, which I definitely feel is you, so take a look at that. Oh, we've got Two of Coins again, bit of a choice or a weighing up of something to come in for some of you. We'll explore that more in the extended to see where it's going to go. So the release and the closure, I think, is important. You know, we've got these beautiful new beginnings with the aces coming in, but that does mean that you have to kind of let the ghosts of the past stay there. Nine of Pentacles just coming in, this again sense of accomplishment and attainment, real sense of self-reliance coming through for you. Beautiful card of the World, ruled by Saturn. Again, we've got Saturn moving direct. I think that's going to have a big influence on things. So King of Cups again, clarified with the King of Cups. So let's just pull a couple more and see what this is really wanting to highlight to us. Okay, Queen of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay. We will dig deeper into the reasoning behind that in the extended. So we've got the card of the Devil coming through here, and the Moon. There is some uncertainty, and for sure I think some of you are going to have some doubt around perhaps yourself or the way things are playing out for you, or what decision and choice you want to make. Emperor coming in here, of course, links into your sign. We also got the card of the Tower. Yeah, just a little bit of mistrust, I think, around the right approach here. Card of the Lovers coming in for you there with these pages. I do think that the enticement of, you know, new things coming in is here for you, and it's really worth exploring, Aries. Just have you in like very protective mode over something though. Beautiful. Okay, you've got a lot of majors coming out in your reading this month as well, Aries, so some real fated events coming through for you. Perfect. Okay, If you'd like to join me for the extended, I look forward to going into these messages in a bit more detail with you. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you beautiful blessings for this month of September. And thank you, and I'll speak to you again next month. Bye for now.